Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Nerds of the Universe. I'm Kerwin,
And on pizza.
and Star Trek Day, man.
Oh, I am
Star Trek
excited. Oh,
Day.
yeah.
This-
I've been running around all day in just about every different costume I have. I started out with old school TOS. I did Strange New Worlds. I did the Monster Maroons. I did this. The First Contact bugger. I had it all on today.
Sounds like fun. I've been working all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I have off today. I have off Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday nights. I'm off. And then I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday nights. So I was trying to get that. And tomorrow, I think I'm canceling tomorrow. I don't know. It's supposed to be my birthday tomorrow, but I don't know.
Supposed to be, sometimes those don't come. Those don't happen,
I'm using fractions now. So now instead of 5 4/10, obviously 5 2/5. So that's what I'm going by now.
Oh man.
So, how caught up are you on all the stuff?
Well, I still haven't. I still haven't watched Orville, but like you said, that's in between now. It's in hiatus now. So
Yeah.
but
They're still deciding if there's going to be another season or not.
I'm caught up on She-Hulk.
Yep, I watched that today.
I wish the episodes were longer.
Yeah, they were kind of good, But
I like them. They're funny. They're lighthearted. They're not classic MCU. Oh, let's make it all,
Yeah. I like the fact that her father is Larry Appleton from Perfect Strangers in the 80s. I giggled about that, and I'm like, wow, he's old. I'm like, wait, crap, so are we. Yeah, I like that one. I watched Lower Decks. I watched the Star Trek Day thing on Paramount Plus. Well, it was Amazon Prime. I got Paramount through Amazon, so I watched it.
I didn't watch that.
They have some pretty good announcements going on. Season 2 of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
They're actually going to have Carol Kane on the show, too. I don't know what character she's going to play. They just showed her in a red uniform on the bridge, and everybody said how funny she was to have on set. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how that goes. I finally watched Thor: Love and Thunder today.
What'd you think?
Some of it seemed a little too slapstick. Some of it seemed okay. I don't know. I didn't like the ending at all. So,
I enjoyed it being slapstick.
It had a little bit to it, but like I said, the worst part for me was the ending. I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they would have fixed her, but
yeah,
that's all I'm going to say.
Trying to get some better lighting so I'm not in the dark. That's just blinding me.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a little better there. Yeah, I enjoyed the slapstick of Love and Thunder. I mean, it granted it could have had better substance. Seeing it and seeing the way Thor Ragnarok was.
Yeah.
The thing about Taika Waititi and his Thor movies is they're not events. They're stories.
It was. I mean, I liked the whole premise of the movie. Mm-hmm. I just thought some of it was it was like,
Well, that's what you get when Korg is telling you a story.
I guess.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, you watch Infinity War, you watch Thor 1, Thor Dark World, you watch those, all the other movies. They're straight up movies.
Yeah.
But Thor Ragnarok is Thor. Narrating what happened at the events of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And Thor Love and Thunder is Korg telling you the story. It's like he's telling a story to some kid or whatever. It's not the action. It's more of a, and that's what I think that's part of the thing with me is like, okay, they're not the actual events that happen. They are an exaggerated caricature of what actually happened based on the person who's telling the story. That's just how I see it, because Korg is telling it. He starts off telling the story and narrates it to the end.
Yeah, it was funny with the whole thing with Zeus and giving him a little flick to take his disguise off, and all the girls passing out and everybody. And then he's explaining it, little nakedness, which I didn't really mind. And Jane was like, I didn't mind. It was good. I mean, I liked that part. And, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, I like Lower Decks was a little more. It was a little okay. It was okay. I liked it. It was a good episode. What else? Yeah, She-Hulk was fun. Although she picked the dude up and started walking off, I was like, oh, here you go. Here you go. I was waiting for something to happen with that. And then, when he saw her, how she really looked, I was like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. But.
Yeah, But that's the whole thing about She-Hulk is, she's very promiscuous as a character.
Yeah.
Now, I have yet to watch the Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragon.
I think I didn't watch this week's episode yet, but I've watched the first two. And I mean, I tried watching Game of Thrones after it to try and see if I could get any context on it. And I only got to season 1, episode 6, and I said, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that.
What, with Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it wasn't.
You don't like the main characters vanishing.
Well, that's what I mean. I can't get invested in a character, then all of a sudden they're gone. But it seemed like Game of Thrones was a whole lot of sex in between fighting. And then it's turning out they're throwing that into the new prequel too. Whatever. And I'm like, all right. And the last thing I needed to see was Doctor Who butt naked, He's always going to be Doctor Who to me. I don't care,
I watched
Morbius.
I watched, the first episode somewhat. I didn't get to finish it because somebody was wanting to watch it with me, and we have yet to still watch it.
Yeah.
But see, I'm torn on another series though. Torn. Rings of Power.
I liked it so far.
Episode 3 comes out tomorrow.
Right.
I am very torn on it, and this is why I'm torn. I watched episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I was extremely pissed off. Like, beyond pissed off.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. I'm like, you can't, no.
That's why I like binging stuff. I like to wait and then just binge it.
I'm seriously thinking with Rings of Power, I'm thinking that's going to be a show that I'm just going to have to not watch it.
And then binge it.
Because, to me, to watch Rings of Power the way that it's playing is like sitting down and watching, being like, okay, we're going to watch Lord of the Rings movies. And you sit down and you get halfway through the first one and someone pauses it to go, okay, let's go do this.
Yeah.
No, we still got 2 hours left of the movie.
Yeah.
Sit down and finish this.
I thought it was a little interesting that one of the main characters in this is Galadriel, or I can't pronounce her name. Galadriel or Galadriel, whatever.
Galadriel.
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I was like, okay.
This takes place in the Second Age.
Yeah.
Now, Lord of the Rings takes place in the Third Age.
Right.
Of Middle Earth. Now, one thing to understand, and it's the difference between the series and the books, okay? In the Lord of the Rings universe, in the Middle Earth realm, and all of that Tolkien created, the Second Age was over 3,000 years, time-wise.
Yeah, I read the books years ago, and I read them all, and it's
the Second Age was 3,000 years. The Third Age was about 3,000 years in time, right?
Yeah.
So, like, now the difference between that and the books, the show and the books, is the show, they've already decided that they're not going to do That's where they're not going to be true to the story. They made the decision that that's not going to be true to what's not going to be true to the story. Because when you sit down and you read the appendices and you read the the Silmarillion, you read all that, it's not 3,000 years worth of content. It's this happened in this time frame, fast forward, this happened, fast forward, this happened, fast forward, this happened. You know, and what they ran into is they were like, well, if we focus on this aspect of the story, which is a good story, it'll be nothing but elves.
Right.
And we don't want to have a Lord of the Rings show that's nothing but elves, because a lot of people who don't dive hardcore into the mythos won't understand what's going on. They're going to go, where are the hobbits? Where are the dwarves? Where are all these other races? Why is this just about elves? Right? And then their other fear was, okay, if we pick this storyline that happens basically from the demise of Morgoth, which was the beginning of the Second Age, to the demise of Sauron, which is the end of the Second Age. Basically, the entire Second Age is the rise of Sauron from being Morgoth's apprentice, from being his follower type thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time jumping in there.
Yeah.
And it's going to start being really confusing to people. Now, one of the openness, one of the one-ups they had with it, to help them along a little bit, is with the Hobbit films that were made. Now, people hated this part about the Hobbit. I enjoyed it, but it was all the extras that were put in. It wasn't just a there and back again, a Hobbit's Tale. It was there and back again, plus all these little extras put in with Radagast and Durin and stuff.
Right.
When Gandalf went to Goldun and found Durin, and found the Necromancer. Necromancer was Sauron. Durin, in the books, I don't want to say the books because it's not in the Hobbit and it's not in the Lord of the Rings. It's in the mythos, all the other collections of the world that Tolkien made. In the mythos, that happened years before Bilbo.
Yeah.
Like that's actually how Gandalf got the map to give to Thorin.
Yeah.
But they changed it up, and I
think they tried to make it
not accurate like I was with Lord of the Rings and Isildur's sword, but because I'd already gotten past the whole thing with Isildur's sword and Lord of the Rings, I can get past all this other stuff because they're not going to be 100%, which is fine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I was digging
there were a lot of books, and they're trying to fit, even the movies were like 3.5 hours, but still trying to fit it all that stuff into like a few movies is just not going to happen well.
Yeah. Now, one thing I am scared of.
What's that?
You watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
The mystery guy.
Which mystery guy?
The one who fell to the Middle Earth.
Oh, yeah. I have a prediction on that already, so you go ahead.
Well, my fingers are crossed that it is not Gandalf.
That's what I'm thinking, that they're going to make that Gandalf.
I don't want it to be Gandalf. There are 2 other wizards that get sent to Middle-earth. See, Sauron is basically the first wizard to go to Middle-earth in the First Age.
Yeah.
He goes and follows Morgoth, which can't remember if Morgoth was a wizard or not. And I say wizard, but there are different like Uras or whatever.
Yeah.
Then during the Second Age, 2 others show up, and it's not Gandalf, it's not Radagast, it's not Saruman. It's 2 completely other ones. Radagast, Saruman, and Gandalf do not show up on Middle-earth until Sauron is defeated by Isildur.
Okay.
And that is partly why Gandalf has to do so much research
That's what I
Find out
thought.
what's going on. Is because he wasn't on Middle Earth during the Second Age.
Yeah. But that's what I'm thinking. But I'm also, I don't even know if it could be the beginning of Sauron.
But see, Sauron didn't get sent to the Middle Earth
Not
until
Sauron. But he's already.
It's not Sauron.
No, I didn't think.
Sauron's already there. Sauron's already there. He already fought during the First Stage. He already, left. He's already manipulating the elf, the one who went to Elrond.
Yeah.
About going to the elves to talk, or the dwarves and stuff.
Yeah.
That guy, what is his name? I could remember it any other day of the week.
Yeah, I can't think of him offhand.
He is the one. He is the elf that is manipulated by Sauron when Sauron takes the form of an elf to create the Rings of Power. That's why this is the Rings of Power, because they are making the rings. Mm-hmm. They're going to make the rings for the elves, the dwarves, the men, and then the One Ring.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is he's already being gone. And I'm hoping that this traveler arriving there, it might end up being Gandalf, but
that's what I'm thinking. That they're going to make it Gandalf, and it's not really going to be, I don't know.
It can be Gandalf. It is what it is. They're just, because Bob, what is Babadil? Oh God, what is his name? There's no one here to help me either.
I know Halloween's not here.
Yeah, what's his name? Pizza Babadil.
It's been a long time since I've read the books.
He's a character that they did not put in the films. And part of it is because he's an extremely OP character. Like, literally, when you read the books, he's that character that you go, why didn't he do it?
Yeah.
He's the one that, like, the rings don't affect. He's sort of a god in a sense.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if it could be him, but I'm hoping it's one of the two that gets sent to Middle Earth during the Second Age. One of the two wizards, per se.
Yeah.
Uri or whatever. But that's my thing, is I'm just like, I just want to binge it, because I'll watch tomorrow's episode because I want more, but it feels like I'm sitting down to watch a movie and they're pausing it on me every week. It's not like with Star Trek, where I can sit down and I can watch an episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll wait till the next week. Or The Walking Dead, where I can watch an episode. And I'm like, okay, I'll wait till the next week. Or She-Hulk, where it's like, that was funny. I wish it were a little longer, but that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I wish they would do hour episodes.
But with this Rings of Power, it legitimately is like, where's the next scene, guys?
They kind of left off on the one elf getting pulled into the tunnel by someone or something. Looked like orcs.
No, he's an all new character.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he doesn't exist in the books. But everybody, see, that's the thing, is that's why people are throwing a fit, because they're doing things in the show that everybody threw a fit about in The Hobbit. They threw a fit about the whole elf dwarf relationship in The Hobbit. They threw a fit about them changing timeline of events to put it into the Hobbit storyline. They threw a fit about the look of it, the CGI, and it's just, I love The Hobbit all the way through.
Yeah, I got a little bit tired through the Decimation of Smaug.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a little tired through it, and it got a little, I don't know. I still watched them all. I still liked them. But
I like all of them. I seriously wish that I've got no problem if they do more. Go back and do the First Age. I don't care.
Yeah,
I like the idea. Or just do this series and then let it sit for 15 years and then go back and Do it a different way.
There we go.
And I say 15 years because it's 2020. The Lord of the Rings trilogy came out in the early aughts, late 90s, early aughts. And it came out in the early aughts. So if you wait 10, 15 years, it's 30-something years after the original trilogy came out. Well, that came out 30 years. Well, a little under 30 years after The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings animation films came out.
That's what I started on them, was back then with the animation.
So, you know what I'm saying, is the timing, it's not like where you're getting a new Batman or Spider-Man every 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
You know, to go back and remake something that was made in the late 90s, early 2000s within the next 10, 15 years is not a stretch for a remake. You know, that's a quarter of a century that you've waited.
Yeah. It could. I mean, I liked it. I just, you know, the character, just from what I've seen through the other parts, and then making her, you know, the big warrior, who she is and all that stuff. It explains, I'm sure they're going to explain how she ended up where she was.
Oh, yeah. Galadriel,
she's a very big character technically through these.
She is.
Yeah. And she's like a background, but she's a big character.
Galadriel's been at the forefront of the whole, was at the forefront of the whole Second Age.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was given one of the rings of power for the elves. Then, not only that, she was given one of the elements, the one for water, the element for water, and she uses, I can't remember exactly what they called it. She got the element for water, Gandalf got the element for fire, and I can't remember who got the element for wind. It was some guy, it's one of the kings or something. I can't remember who got it, but she got the element for water, and that's how she created that little. It's how she created the elven forest as like a safe haven for the elven forest. Just like spoilers for anybody who might, because it may be in the show. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But you got Elrond. Elrond helps create Rivendell.
Yeah.
Then eventually goes to lead it, like we see in the Fellowship of the Ring. But he creates Rivendell because there is an elven stronghold close to Mordor. Now, but they don't know what's going on in Mordor right now.
Right.
They don't know what Sauron's after. They think Sauron's done and over with, but they're worried that he's not. They don't know exactly what's going on, so they're taking, they're figuring out. And this goes on, like I said, thousands of years. Sauron befriends the elves as a different as disguised.
Yeah.
Gets them to work on the rings, but they still didn't fully trust him. So actually the three rings made by the elves were not able to be controlled by the one ring. And the other situation about the rings of power is they were more of, it wasn't we're making these rings of power for everybody. That was like the story behind it in a sense, but they were basically prototypes of the ring of power. And so Sauron, so it didn't waste the materials because it took certain materials and stuff to make those. But that's also why the elves can have their rings and not turn into ring wraiths like the 9 rings for the men.
Yeah, I still get.
But
I'm interested to see where it's going to go. Where they're going to go with it. I really am. How far they're going to go up.
I'm pretty stoked. Like I said, I might binge it, but I probably won't because I'll be too impatient.
That's what I keep saying. And then tomorrow, Cobra Kai comes out again.
I might be able to binge Rings of Power because if Cobra Kai comes out tomorrow, that's a binge-worthy show for me.
But don't they release them all at once, though? Cobra Kai, they released all at once.
Yeah, because Netflix is awesome when it comes to that. I mean, they would be one of those things like, here's the thing. If they came to me and said, one of two options, I will either release them weekly and you can watch them, sit down, turn it on, watch it. Every week you get a new episode, no commercials at all. Or I will release the entire thing at one time, but you got to watch a commercial every 5 to 10 minutes. Give me the commercials.
Yeah, I have it without the commercial.
Commercial every 5 to 10 minutes, as long as I don't have to sit there and wait every week for another hour's worth of entertainment.
Yeah, I watch it without commercials, but I know in between the episodes you get the commercials in between the different episodes.
Of what?
Cobra Kai and all that stuff. Like when I binge them.
Doesn't have commercials. It's on Netflix.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I thought that's what you were meaning.
No, I was meaning if they like an example is Rings of Power's on Prime. There's no commercials on that either.
No.
But if it was the reason they don't do the commercial thing is because they got to keep the subscribers.
Yeah.
If we keep them subscribed every month to to watch these shows, that's 3 months that we were able to retain them, so on and so forth. Well, if they were to turn around and say, hey, you can either have no commercials, but you got to wait a week for every episode, or watch it with commercials and you get all the episodes dropped all at once. That way the commercials help compensate what they would get paid.
Yeah.
Retention wise. Show me the commercials, because I would rather sit down and watch it all at once with 2 minutes of ads every 10 minutes. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's the TV we grew up with. I mean, that's what I remember growing up.
Yeah, Ashley and I were watching Heart of Dixie on Freevee, and she was getting so annoyed. Yeah, with me, the annoyance with the commercials on Freevee, with the ads on Freevee, is the repetitiveness of the ads. I can sit down and I can watch an episode, 30-minute episode, hour-long episode, whatever. You can have 5 commercial breaks in there. That's fine. But you don't have to show me the same 5 Gecko commercials and the same 5 Progressive commercials every single commercial break.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's show a commercial, another commercial, show, then the same 2 commercials you just saw
are back on again. Yeah.
Over and over. Like, just change it up, guys. Like, I know you're using Google Ads for this. There's a plethora of ads out there. Throw in some other stuff.
Yeah, really.
I've got State Farm. I ain't getting Geico or Progressive or, Allstate or any of that. I'm happy with my insurance company. Throw something else in there.
There we are. Yep, I'm going to be, let's see. We still have Wrath of Khan again tonight. Going to watch that. I was going to go to the movies today with the kids and watch it. But, I got to think money-wise, kids in school, groceries, rent, everything else.
Movies out where you're at?
Yeah, they release it every so many years. They'll play it back in the theater. We've actually had it since the 50th anniversary. They played it. Like they did 20, 25, 30, 35. Since it was 50th, they've been playing it like pretty much every year. They have it playing somewhere around here. And we can go watch it. And I was ready to throw the Monster Maroons on and watch it in costume there, in the uniforms. Because I'm sure I wouldn't be the only yo-yo there in uniform. So, but we figured, save a little money since movies are now, $15+ here now? And then if you want something silly like drinks and popcorn, they make you fill out a loan application, I think, at the theater anymore.
I refuse to pay that to go to the movies. I do. I'll go to the drive-in in Moberly where it's $20. It's $10 an adult.
Okay.
Kids get in, watch it at the drive-in. It's not the greatest. You're in a car for a couple hours. Unless you stay for both movies and you're in a car for 4 to 5 hours,
Yeah, we used to play 2 movies at our drive-in. When we play
2 there too. It's just whether we stay for them or not.
Yeah. Well, we usually when we went, if there were a couple movies, it would be like the movie you could play with the family, first movie, and the second one would be if you brought your wife or you brought a date or something else.
Yeah.
So we usually left after the first one because my dad was like, "No, I ain't watching that." It would be something like Bambi and then Kentucky Fried Movie. So they would be like, "No, my kid ain't staying for that." Yeah.
Or if we actually go to the theater, I always hit them up at like Monday and Tuesday where it's $5 movie night.
Yeah, we had We had like the $3 movie here the other day, and we went and saw like 2 movies. I saw the new Dragon Ball movie with Robbie in the evening, and during the day, Anna and I went and we saw The Invitation, that vampire movie. It was actually pretty good. Not the best, but it was pretty good.
These are brand new movies that are out?
Yeah, they're both brand new. The Dragon Ball movie was a continuation, and I had no clue who the characters were. Robbie was explaining them to me. Yeah, but he had no idea where everything was in this, because he's like still on early original seasons of it.
I didn't know they made a Dragon Ball movie after Evolution.
I guess, yeah. There's still
or is an animated one?
Yeah, this one was called Dragon Ball Hero. Dragon Ball Superhero.
It is an animated one.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Superhero
based off Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we went and saw.
And they made another live action Dragon Ball, and I'm like,
no. We don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Robbie's like, we don't talk about that one, you know. And Anna and I saw The Invitation in the morning. That was like based on Dracula. It was pretty good. It wasn't a Dracula movie. It was supposed to be in present day, but you know, you figure out who people are by the names and things like that. Like the girl tries to escape, and she escapes down to the village. The place they're visiting is called New Carfax Abbey on Whitby, where you know the original one took place. You have Jonathan and Mina Harker down in the village, things like that. He never says Dracula in the movie, but he points out he's got the 2 out of 3 brides. He was going to make her the 3rd bride. It was pretty interesting. It was a good story. Good story. I mean, granted, if I would have paid full price for it, I probably would have been a little tinkled on. But, you know,
there's a difference though. You live in a larger area than I do. Like,
yeah,
I've got locally, I've got 4 theaters to choose from. One of them is Capital 8 Theaters. And then there's Forum 8 Theaters. And they usually show the exact same thing because they're the exact same company. One's in Jeff City, the other one's in Columbia.
Yeah.
Then you got Stadium 14 or Hollywood 14 or 12 or whatever they're calling themselves now. It's in Columbia.
Yeah.
It's the more pricey one. And it's usually showing the same thing the other 2 are. And then we've got B&B Theaters in Fulton, which I think shows 4 movies, and it's usually just the most popular 4 movies that are being released at that time.
Yeah.
We don't get a whole lot of your lower, you know, in the 90s we did. In the 90s, you know, if Dragon Ball was coming out with another movie like that, we'd get it. Pokemon, you know, Star Wars animated movie, all that, we'd get it. You know, Star Wars Clone Wars. But now it's like, if it's not a big money grabber, we don't see it.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got about 6, 7 movie theaters within an easy driving distance here. Like probably within 20, 30 minutes of where I live, we have about 8 or 9 different, you know, 15 movies here, 12 movies there, another 14 down the other way. We used to, when I was growing up, there were about 5 or 6 theaters right in the area, but they were like, Studio 3, this double feature, double movie theaters. We still even had the dollar movie theater that was just one screen, and we would see older movies in there. And I used to love that. Take your girlfriend or whatever on a Friday or Saturday night to a dollar movie.
Oh yeah, I really miss Summit Theaters. It was a theater in Holt Summit, which is about 10, 15 minutes from here. Those other theaters were the same about you, within a 20, 30-minute drive. But Summit Theaters, it was just a little movie theater with 2 screens.
Mm-hmm.
In at the end of a plaza. Wasn't anything fancy, and it was, it was a secondary movie. The movies came out in the main theater. After 2 weeks, they would get the movies.
Yeah.
And they would show them it started out as 50 cents. Then after inflation went up, they went to $1.50.
Yeah.
And they were $1. I think at one point they got to $3 before they shut down about 10 years ago. But they were trying to get the movies quicker too.
Yeah.
I loved it when it was like $1.50 to go watch the movies.
Oh yeah. We used to have, it was called the Town Twin Cinema here, right in Levittown. and it was $2 movies. They might have been a little older, you know, like when we were watching Back to the Future. This was still showing like movies from the previous summer.
Oh.
You know, like you could look at, you take your girlfriend or whatever, be like, hey, remember this movie? Yeah, they're playing it again. Let's go see it. Stuff like that. Some of the new ones. And I remember when movies were $5 a piece at the first run movies at the big theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh my God, $5. Holy crap. Now they're like 15. I'm like, use a gun. Why don't you?
Yeah, I remember when I was like, Mom, can we go watch that movie? And she's like, no, we can't go to the movies for me, you, your dad, your brother, and your sister. And then after popcorn and soda, that's going to cost us like $30.
Yeah, right.
Well, if I'm going to spend $30, we'll go buy a movie and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, see, when I was younger, videos didn't come out until I was already in high school. That's when the VHS places start coming around. We had Video Village, Blockbuster, and all them, Hollywood Video. Yeah. They came out when I was in high school and later. So if you wanted to watch it, all we had was HBO, Prism, and Cinemax to watch the movies on back then. And it was, that was in the house. So if you weren't bringing a date to your living room, because my dad worked during the day and my mom didn't work at the time. So everybody was running around. Yeah. And my sister Tracy's 11 years younger than me. So she was straight up my butt the whole time I was home. So,
yeah. And of course, at the same time, we'd still go to the movies.
Oh yeah,
which kind of is interesting now, right?
Yeah,
because I look back at just say when I started working in the mid '90s, mid to late '90s. And where I live at that time, minimum wage was $5 an hour, $4.75 or $5 an hour,
mm-hmm.
Right? And a movie at the time cost about $6 or $7 a person. So for a family of 5 to go to the movies, you're paying $30 for the tickets.
Yeah,
and it was usually another $30 for. It usually cost the same amount as the tickets for concessions.
Yeah. Just me and the 3 kids to go to the movies right now and we went when we saw Top Gun. We bought the tickets online, got all that stuff, 4 tickets, $15 a piece. So there's like almost over $90 right there. You figure 15, well, 36, $60. $60 just for that. A large drink. We got the bucket and drink combos for Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
The metal, but $25 a piece. I didn't realize.
Good Lord,
it was
even at theaters where I go to now, it's you get the combo is the combos. A large popcorn, a large drink is $22.
Yeah, this was a metal bucket with Top Gun on it. And then the large drinks with the lids, the reusable drinks and all that with Top Gun, $25. I wasn't thinking, got 3 of them, So here I am, over $100 to see Top Gun, Robbie bought the tickets, though. That was for what was that for? Father's Day. Yeah. I'm like, my birthday's tomorrow. Wait a minute. What was before that? It's okay.
Yeah. See, the other thing is I go with the same that I did, it was when I was a kid. Actually, my kids get more than when I was a kid. We always got the large popcorn that allowed for refills.
Yeah, that's what they did.
So it was like, you got this drink, and then we all shared the popcorn.
We did.
3 refills. Why are we going to buy 3 popcorns? We can buy one, share it, and refill it.
I didn't even think about it because we were like, we were all cool. Oh, I want that bucket. Holy crap, I need that bucket. Everybody wanted one, and we got the drinks, and then she told me how much it was. And then when Robbie picked me back up to pay for it and everything, I was like, holy crap. Oh, we got our money's worth. Trust me, we were sucking down popcorn. If I would have farted too hard, a few kernels would have came out as much popcorn as we ate.
What I was basically saying was, though, is back when I started working, I'll just go for when I was working. $5 an hour.
Yeah.
And the cost of a movie to take a family of 5 to the movies cost us around $60 to $65. I remember how much it would cost because I was always told how much it would cost.
Oh yeah, that's my dad.
Like, this is how much it's costing. Don't ask for anything else. I just spent $65 at the theater. You guys want McDonald's? What are you talking about? You should have eaten popcorn.
We used to do a lot of movies in the 70s, like as a family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember 4th of July, 1976. We saw Rocky. You know, when Rocky first came out. We saw Star Wars in 77. We saw Superman, the first Superman in 79.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you know, we saw all these movies. Star Trek in 79 when that came out. Oh, I was right there, man. And we were watching that. They're doing the beauty shots of the Enterprise where you pan around in the motion picture. We're like, ooh, ah. They showed the Klingons in the beginning. We're like, what the hell is that? You know, we're like, hey, no Klingon, what the hell? You know?
Like you were when Discovery changed the Klingon.
Yes, I was. I was just like that, man. I was like, just now. At least they're not going to change Worf and stuff. I saw that. I saw some previews today watching the thing. Admiral Worf, Admiral LaForge, Admiral Worf. You know, all that. But after that, my dad worked 7 days a week my whole life. You know, that was one guy. Every now and then he would check in and say, well, how old are you now? Yeah, I'm your father. Remember? Yeah, okay. That was my dad. He worked. Mom was around. I had my sister, Tracy, when I was 11, almost 12 when Tracy was born. And then my sister Dana, I was out of the house. I was in the Navy. I'm almost 18 years older than her. So my mom kind of liked to spread them out a bit. But lately, me and the kids love movies. I mean, we got the Spider-Man combo. We did the Top Gun. Whoops, where are we at? Top Gun. Batman. This was the Batman one we got. We got our Batman buckets when they came out. We have Ghostbusters.
Theater, those are already gone.
We go, usually when it's something like that we want to see, like when the new Ghostbusters came out, when all that, we were there the first night. Usually when it's a movie we want to see, we're right there.
See, I get really anxious. Like, I want to watch those movies and want to see it opening night. Like, I want to contribute to its opening weekend.
Yeah.
But the other factor is I like to be able to sit back and watch a movie and enjoy the movie. I don't want to sit there trying to watch a movie while I got everybody crammed around me, chewing on popcorn, laughing, talking. Like, I usually wait until I'll pull up the app, since now we can see what seatings are. I'll pull up the app and I'll be like, nope, half the theater's sold out. There's still, nope, I'll wait.
Yeah,
Open it up. Yeah, there's only like 5 seats sold. Yeah, I'll go to that showing.
Usually when we go opening night, we either go real early in the morning, like when they first open, when nobody's there, or we go real later at night. Like I never do the midnight, the night before kind of thing when it turns into opening day. We never do that one. We used to do that when Amber was little, my oldest.
Yeah.
And when she wanted to see, she was a Twihard. So I actually can, that I saw all the Twilight movies opening night, right first thing. And I'm like, sitting there the whole time, vampires don't sparkle, and you got to listen to the 40-something-year-old women behind me going, ooh, Jacob's got his shirt off again. Holy crap,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm like, no, come on, But then again,
you have so many theaters because that doesn't work out here.
Oh.
Like, seriously, opening weekend of big movies, like big blockbuster movies, opening weekends out here, all weekend, every showing is practically full, or at least over half the theater's full. And I know, only half the theater's sold out. Why don't you go watch it? Half the theater, but no one, they always leave 2 or 3 seats in between them. And, half the theater, there's still a lot of people in there, and you're still having to sit close to somebody. And you still got somebody who, I want to go back in time to whoever decided popcorn was a theater food and punch them in the face.
Well, now we have.
Why didn't you just say chips?
We have nachos, pretzel bites, hot dogs, popcorn, candy.
Pretzel bites, like soft pretzels, hot dogs. I'm okay with that.
Popcorn was easy to throw at people. You could just throw it around.
Smangs, but whatever. But popcorn? Really? Because that's what I want to do. When I'm sitting here trying to focus and pay attention to an amazing scene and the tone is set and you're listening to see what's being said next or what somebody's saying in the background, what's going on over here, and all of a sudden you hear...
Well, they originally started using popcorn because it was a filling snack and it was cheap to make. That was why they originally started doing it, because it was cheap and easy.
I still want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, hey, some water. More power to you there, but I mean, when we started going now, I mean, the movie theaters here, we have a bunch of them, but we all have those stadium seating now and the recliners and the electric chairs where you're back like this watching the movie.
We went to a theater when we went to Ohio for the retreat. We stopped by a theater.
Yeah.
And it's in Indiana. Can't remember the name of the town. But we went and watched Jurassic World 3.
Yeah.
And reclining. I was like, dang, I cannot wait till those make it to our area. Moberly has them, like where we go to do the drive-in.
Yeah.
They have them. But I'll drive an hour one way to watch 2 movies at a drive-in.
Yeah, if you're going to be there for a little bit.
Drive an hour one way to pay for everybody to go sit down in the theater.
Yeah. I mean, and the movie theaters here, they're not really, some of them get crowded, like Top Gun got pretty full. It got really crowded, but it was all guys my age explaining the movie to their kids, explaining Top Gun, who that is.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
But I mean, it wasn't, when the movie started, everybody's quiet around here. They're pretty good. There was one when we saw Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, No Way Home. Like when something would happen, somebody would yell something out because it got crowded. When we bought our tickets, it wasn't that crowded, but it filled up. Like when Ned said, "I'll never try to kill you, Peter," some guy in the front was like, "Read the comic books." Yes, you will. I said it real quiet to Robbie. It's like, yeah, wait till you read the comic book, kid. And then this guy's yelling it out and all that kind of stuff. And I'm getting,
I can't stand that. Like, I'm one of those people that family hates me because I get annoyed. Like, we'll be sitting there watching the movie, and one of them will be like, "Hey, what's up with that? Shh, watch the movie."
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something that I know, okay, they're going to explain it later on, and they're like, well, what's going on with this? Watch the movie.
Oh, Val, watching a movie with Val? Oh my God. We gotta hook up maybe this summer coming up or plan a trip somewhere and watch a movie with Val. She figures out every twist, every, an M. Night Shyamalan movie. She's got it all figured out correctly within 20 minutes into the movie. And she has no problem telling everybody what the twist is. She's like,
everyone does.
I will do it on TV shows because TV shows are TV shows. They're not movies.
Val sat there when we were watching The Village. Within 15 minutes into it, they just get to the village and stuff like that. Val goes, "It's a modern movie. They're all isolated. And it's not real." I'm like, we watched The Sixth Sense. He's the one that's dead. He's a ghost too. I'm like, shut your pie hole, Although, one movie I watched the other day, I was surprised I liked it. I mean, I was in one of those moods. I watched The Expendables. I don't know why. I just love those movies. All the action and everything with the big name action guys.
Nostalgic.
I loved it.
Fun, that's what the 80s movies were fun. They were escapes. They weren't all about trying to be like, that couldn't happen. That's not real.
And I watched them.
Fun action films.
I was in the mood. I was in that Sylvester Stallone mindset mood to watch a movie. So I watched Samaritan.
Oh, I love that movie.
Did you see it?
Great.
How'd you like that twist?
I called that twist towards the beginning.
Yep, I said it.
That one,
As soon as he said to the kid when he was teaching him how to fight, some people just need a beating, I was like, and I figured it out.
Yep.
I was like, as soon as he said that, when he was getting all agitated when like they tried to stab him, and he had the knife like that, and he's sitting there going, I'm like, yeah, you know.
Exactly. Like just the way it was going, and the way he, it was part of just everything about him. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
I
don't know when that Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie comes out.
What?
Where he has powers and stuff.
What?
Black Adam? I don't remember.
What's the matter?
She wants to know when Black Adam comes out.
Robbie, when does Black Adam come out? I thought we saw it when we saw the trailer the other day. I forget.
Either way, but
somebody get Hollow Queen on the horn.
Well, honestly, I am trying my best to stay awake during all this. I don't know if I've been working my butt off.
Yeah, you're working. I'm
filled and stuff. So
I'm just loafing today. I've been doing Star Trek all day. I got Facebook Star Trek pictures. I've been wearing this, and I even got Star Trek jammies for when I go to bed tonight. I'm ready to go.
So I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna have to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
Fun. As always, live long and prosper. This is the way. Nerdsters out.
See you.